Across the United States, there are a litany of short ovals and dirt tracks all across the country. However, in recent years, unfortunately, a couple of them have been shut down and closed. However, tonight in iRacing, well, we're going to have this track preserved in history, and we're going to also throw some dirt on it just to make it that much more exciting. We're here tonight for the VDRA Late Model Series round number 2 here at USA Speedway. And my name's Finney DeCuna here with Kyle Heyer. Kyle, glad to have you back at me with the booth and also for some dirt track action.
Yeah, it's been a while since we've done some dirt. Happy to be here, and the old USA International Speedway, one of the tracks that you get is default iRacing content, so a lot of drivers have done a lot of laps around here, and yeah, it's a warehouse now in real life, but as you said, it's preserved here forever in iRacing, and stoked to be on board with some dirt racing action and some heat racing tonight with the field of almost 30 cars.
Yeah, big field of cars. They had some fantastic action at the opening race last week at Lanier. And already a couple of drivers getting out there onto the racetrack. And as you got a couple of drivers working around the racetrack itself, taking a look at the weather. And, well, it's looking to be fairly cool from what it can convert quickly from Celsius to Fahrenheit.
Oh, man.
But it seems to be pretty cool tonight.
To that.
It seems to be pretty cool tonight with the sun setting down.
That's 68 degrees Fahrenheit for those that are working units. This definitely was not converted from IndyCar graphics or anything. But, yeah, qualifying here, let's get yourself set up for your heat races tonight. We're looking at Connor Hughes in the number 5. Travis Beckner already at the top of the order. Big dirt racing guy, so he's right at home here on the slick clay at USA.
Yeah, most of the drivers have already gotten their times in, qualifying very quick. I mean, as you can imagine, these lap times only a couple seconds here and there. 20 seconds about per run for these drivers. Connor Hughes across the line. Carter Koop out there in the 52, and driver we don't typically see out on the track, usually up in the admin tower. And he is out on the track, I believe. Looks like it got a little bit of a freeze for me. So give me 1 second to try to get it back going.
Yeah, so while we are waiting for that, Austin Davis is working his way around the track right now. He's one of about a dozen drivers that have yet to put down a lap time here, and we'll see if he can jump up towards the top. Tyler Gary goes third quick. Davis still trying to get a time on the board. It's only 17th quick.
And here's Tyler Gary in an absolutely beautiful paint scheme. I mean, just look at the artistic liberty taken with this machine. Well, it may not be necessarily the prettiest car, but it got out there and won last week at Lanier, and he's looking to be pretty quick here tonight as well.
Yeah, I mean, that is something, isn't it? Makes you feel less bad when you run into it, I guess.
Doesn't matter. It looks matters how it drives. Dalton Kane also in the number 9 machine. The number 7 machine working his way up through the order, trying to work his way up through the order. He is currently actually up to second. He was in 9th, up to second place. And a decent time for him. He's got a couple more getting out there. Jacob Bell, notably, in 77.
Yeah, good to see him out there in the ever-present Florida State Builders colors, the blue, the green, and the white that we've seen across a variety of different competition vehicles. And long straightaways here, tight corners. It sort of feels like the dirt Martinsville. It's not quite a paperclip, but it's not far from it. And so you're really heading off into these corners with a head of steam and pitching it in violently to get the thing rotated through all the way down to the bottom of the racetrack in 1 and 2, up out to the outside wall. Do the same thing down here at the other end of the racetrack, and you see him swing out and pitch it and really send it in sideways and see what Bell can do.
So he can do working his way back onto the front straightaway. And across the line, complete lap number 2. Is it going to be a decent improvement on his attempt? Be in 14th place. And Bryce Senezak will be the last of our qualifiers. 24 cars on the grid. And he will be the last one to get a time out there. Notably is that last week, we typically did not see a lot of drivers use the outside lane. I did happen to see a couple practice races here, and I saw drivers use that outside lane. But for now, everyone, while the gravel, I think, is fresh on the bottom feeding down to get a quick lap in.
Yeah, I think you're going to try to search for the soft stuff now, but as the track slicks up, you're going to start moving up the racetrack and trying to find where the grip is, and it's going to continually move up and up and up. And there will be a point that everybody's sort of running middle to high, and then then it opens up the opportunity to dive up underneath somebody as we're on board now with Bryce Senezak. Throttling up out of turn 4. We'll see what he's got, 20.912. That's going to be only good enough for about 18th spot.
And with that, I think I'm going to round out everyone's attempts. Everyone's got a time in just as qualifying is coming to an end. And we'll take a look quickly at your lineup getting into the race. And, of course, the field going to be divided up with the heat coming up in just a little while. But Travis Beckner out there with a solid time. I don't think we're too surprised with that.
No, no, he's right at home here, isn't he? Racing in the southeast dirt scene there. There's Travis Beckner. At the .039 advantage over Dalton Kane. Jaden Freiberger there in the 24. Mason Kane, Clayton Johnson, your top 5 here. With qualifying complete, we'll head to the first of our heats. And this is where things get fun. We got 6 drivers in these heats now, and we're going to get to watch them. The top 4 will move on and advance to that 50-lap feature. But I always enjoy the heats because when you reduce the number of cars that are in a race, Finian, you increase the level of aggression that you can do without it biting you in the butt. You can really get up on that wheel, because the worst you can do is finish 6th.
Yeah, and effectively everyone's moving on to that threat of elimination not lingering in the air for the second race in a row. So with 24 drivers, a nice solid field, and again, you guys can really use this stuff as an extended practice session. Get to feel up your competitors, see how they're going to perform out there. And speaking of which, go through and meet our competitors down on the racetrack. As Travis Beckner is going to be starting on pole for this heat, Clayton Johnson in second. Ryan Swan will line up in third. And there we go. I was trying to get an eye on some of these guys. There we go. There's Ryan Swan in third. Ryan Zabot in 10th. Jordan Navarro in the 96 in 5th, with Christian DeBoer in the 56, lined up 6th place.
And there's points on the line, too. 10 points for first place. Second place gets 9. Third place gets 8, and so on and so forth. So there is points-paying contention to keep in mind here tonight. And they'll follow the pace truck around the racetrack there. You see the track is still relatively in fresh prep, considering we haven't really done a lot of laps on it yet. We cleaned things up for practice and qualifying, but from here on out, we're going to carry over this state from session to session. The track's not going to get re-prepped at all. So this is the grippiest it's going to be all night long, and this first heat's going to get the best of USA International.
Yeah, we'll see also, too, I think in all the previous heats at Lanier, we saw the pole sitter effectively run away with it. There was 1 or 2 good battles for the lead, but more or less it was a runaway for the race leader. We'll see how it will end up. They work their way to turn 4. I was going to say, I'm pretty sure they have one more pace lap around here.
It's a long short track. So
it is really long. And that's the thing, because Lanier, you can get into a very good rhythm around that track. You don't the straightaways are so short. And meanwhile, you mentioned it before. The best way to describe it is like Martinsville. Long straightaway, you get down. They get these things pointed in a straight direction, which is not hard because these things constantly want to turn.
Yeah, I mean, this is a challenging racetrack for a lot of reasons, just because you got to keep them really pointed. It's like drag strips, connected by these hairpin corners. So, you're fighting wheel spin all the way down the straightaway here at Lakeland and then off into the corner. Because the radius is so tight, you just have to pitch the cars so aggressively. It makes it a lot of fun to drive, but it is a challenge here, Finian, as we get set to go racing in the first of our heats.
We'll see how they're going to do. Travis Beckner leading them down to green. The pace truck's in. And let's kick off this night of racing. Heat number 1 is green and underway.
Nice launch car in the wall. That was Christian DeBoer. Bounced off the fence going into turn 1. Clayton Johnson trying to hang the outside here. Throttles up. And wide is the 10 rather, of Zabot. But Jordan Navarro's right on his heels. And for the lead, tight battle.
Yeah, Clayton Johnson, the 25, trying to catch back up and trying to see if he can make a move on the 27. Of course, the big question is, where is he going to make the move, to the inside, to the outside? At the moment, just riding right on the quarter panel of that 27 car.
Yeah, I don't think the outside is going to have a lot of grip yet. The bottom's the place to be in the early stages. We might see that change as the heats go on. Right down to the grass. So you're going to try to get up underneath this 27. Later in the night, though, in the feature especially, we'll see drivers looking for the outside probably.
So close to get out of these leaders. He is there. He's going to try to move the 27 up the track, look to the inside. Effectively, they're going to be side by side down the back straightaway. Not quite. Almost there.
Wow, Travis Beckner doing a nice job keeping Clayton Johnson in the pocket there to his inside, where he can kind of keep him from getting fully alongside. DeBoer kind of bounced off the fence again in the background. He's all out of control on the front straightaway, but gathered it back up. Just a bit of a struggle here for that number 56.
dropping in back, but taking a look at our leaders. Effectively, the top 4 are closed in, and second place, Clayton Johnson, he's trying to see if he can catch back up. He had a really good attempt there, was trying to get that purchase point, but just couldn't quite get it to the inside. You can see he's halfway through effectively now, 4 laps to go. Can he get back up and get that point in, or will Travis Beckner secure this?
You know, it's it's almost like driving the kiddie rental carts, right? When the track is this grippy, you know, you can just kind of rim the bottom and there's no way to get around anybody. You don't have to take any kind of racing line. And so I think it's a disadvantage maybe if you're trying to move forward in these first couple of heats, because the track is so gripped up. When you've got more lanes to work with later in the night, that'll make it easier to race.
And look, you see Travis Beckner. It's a great view of Travis Beckner's line. Look how control he's in, riding right on that grass, right against the wall, in almost perfect form. And even for that matter, 25 at Johnson, he's also doing a fantastic job as well, flying in. These might be really 2 cars to look out for here.
Yeah, battle for third place is heating up. Ryan Swan has got Zabot looking to the outside. He's going to send it way up the hill and try to do something with it. Getting better drive up off the corners. He's getting right up underneath that rear spoiler down the straightaway. But now he's just sort of mirroring what Swan is doing.
Swan moving up the track, the 10 looking to the inside, white flag in the air. Race for the lead's pretty much mute, but the battle for third still heating up. Swan going to throw it into the corner, keep it tight on the inside. The 10 can't quite do anything, and out of turn 4 for the lead. Travis Beckner going to take the win here at USA for heat number 1. Johnson second, Swan and Zabot, your top 4.
You know what I saw out of Zabot there was he started to experiment with that middle groove, and it didn't make him the pass, but he didn't lose a lot of time either. So already within a couple of laps, we're starting to see that bottom maybe slick up just a touch. It's going to take more heats than just that for it to really bring in that middle groove. But I don't think this is going to be a single groove racetrack all night. It might be single groove at one given time, but it's going to move up the hill for sure.
Yeah, we're already starting to see him move up just a hair bit. And you actually see, I'll take a look at from the blimp game. You start to see that inside lane form up. You can see where it's slightly darker around the outside of that inside lane. That's where the loose dirt is. That's where you want the grip from my little dirt racing experience. I know that's where you want to be. That's where the grip is.
No, I didn't grow up in the Georgia Clay or anything. But,
no, really? You don't say.
I've got the most northeastern accent you could possibly imagine. They also dry up that bottom lane too, and when the moisture comes out of it, that also doesn't help the grip levels. You want nice, soft, moist dirt, moist clay, and that's going to be where the cars have not run yet. Man, that 26 is an eyesore.
And the unfortunate thing is that it's fast. It's going to be on camera a lot tonight. Dalton Kane actually is going to be starting on pole for heat number 2. Tyler Gary going to be to his outside. These are definitely going to be 2 to watch. Both of them looking very quick. We might see a similar situation to what we saw in the last heat with Travis Beckner and Johnson. Then we looking back behind Jordan Martin, be starting in 3rd in the number 17 car. Jacob Bell to his outside. And then Bryce Senizak rounding out the last row in 5th place with the 19 of Austin Davis in 6th.
Yeah, love that 19. That's a great graphics package on that car. Very reminiscent of the things I would watch at Canandaigua Speedway up in my neck of the woods up near Rochester, New York, where I grew up.
Was that the track we went to that one time? Was it Canandaigua?
No, we went to,
Oh, no, right, because it was by Watkins Glen.
A track near Watkins Glen. I can't remember, man, it wasn't Paradise Speedway. There was another one, but
I was hoping you remember. That's closer
Kurt
to
Busch
you.
Was there?
Yes, he was. I was surprised.
Yes.
Actually, I shouldn't be too surprised because he's pretty into that stuff. But we're going to see these guys
racing, though, heat 2.
Get into this stuff as Dalton Kane going to lead him down. Oh, he's going to jump, go flying through the pace track. He can't wait to get underway, trying to secure the lead. Green flag in the air. 8 laps with Tyler Gary all over the back of him.
Yeah, and already, see, they've immediately committed to that middle groove. That's a little bit surprising. I would have thought they'd be on the bottom, and Gary now has overlap down into turn 3.
Going to throw it to the inside, slide in front of the 7 of Kane, and he's going to take the lead. Now a pass on lap number 1, but Dalton Kane not done yet.
Wow, big send for the 7 on the bottom of the racetrack. He's going to clear Gary. Gary crosses over back to the bottom. What a move there by Tyler Gary. He wants to win this heat as bad as the feature.
And they're going to swap once more. Gary working to the inside ahead of Dalton Kane once more. And it looks like they're going to keep trading spots. No, Kane not actually able to get to the inside. We'll have to tuck in behind. But he's definitely going to be far from over. He's going to keep going at this.
These boys ate their Wheaties today. They're going at it hard at the front here. Really tight quarters. Look off the right nose of Dalton Kane running in second. Going to pocket on Tyler Gary.
And you can see how close he's getting, right up to that door panel, trying to force the 26 into a mistake. Maybe dare to bump him. I'm not sure if he's going to be willing to do so this early, because I don't think you really want to make enemies this early on. We haven't even gotten into the main event. But Dalton Kane looks like he's given up for now. Meanwhile, it's still close quarters in behind, with Jordan Martin leading third place over Jacob Bell, then Senizek, then Davis.
Yeah, it's like moving to a new school and, you know, stealing the girlfriend from the prom king. You don't want to make your enemies that early. You want to, you know, plan it out, wait a little while. You know, steal it right at the end.
Is that speaking from experience?
You could say that.
As, whoa, big slide in the background from the 19 of Davis, trying to make a move.
Davis in the fence. He bounced off the wall out of turn 4 there that time.
Here comes Senizek trying to take advantage. Going to hit the grass, jump over, and push the 19 out of the way.
Yeah, way up to the outside there. And I don't think the dirt is compact enough really to get any purchase on it there just yet. Side by side into 3 and 4. Senizek got a left front in the grass. I was going to say in the dirt, but we're on the dirt. The dirt is the track here.
Into the grass.
Recalculate, recalibrate, right?
And so Davis will stay ahead of Senizek.
I'm a road racer. I spend all my time trying to avoid the dirt.
And up ahead, Tyler Gary trying to avoid the rest of the field. He's made himself a nice little gap, about 6 to 7 tenths of a second. White flag in the air as quickly as it's begun. It's coming to an end. Looks like Dalton Kane not going to be able to come back towards the 26. Jordan Martin moving ahead of Jacob Bell. And, well, Bryce Senizek, he's still trying to have a go.
Yeah, he's got to the inside of Davis. He'll have overlap here into 3 if he has a big send right down to the bottom. He's going to get way up the racetrack, though, and Davis will go right back by.
And meanwhile, across the line for the win in heat number 2, Tyler Gary ahead of Dalton Kane, then Jordan Martin, Jacob Bell, Austin Davis, and Bryce Senizek, your top 6.
I missed heat racing, man. It's fun. I get why this is so popular on a Friday or Saturday night, man. It's just rapid fire.
Yeah, especially with iRacing, too, because you don't have to wait for the track to get re-cleared, retreated. Nope, just immediately load the next group of guys and get them going.
I think probably couldn't even do one. You could do 3 of these heats in a lap around the Nürburgring. just more compact fun, I think, is the way to do it. But, man, what a drive by the 19 there at the very end to tuck up underneath Senizek in that last-ditch effort to move forward. And on to the 3rd heat now.
Yeah, on to heat number 3, and pace truck already rolling off and away. And we'll take a look at our competitors in heat number 3, starting on pole. The Jaden Freiberg. Very solid job, led a couple laps at Lanier, wasn't able to secure the deal at the end, but definitely is a quick car and definitely one to watch out for. Jane Shamewolf going to be starting to the outside of him in the number 14 machine. Odie Overhaul, I believe is how you say that, the number 12?
Yeah.
Machine.
I like that name. That's a good dirt racer name. Odie Overholt.
Connor Hughes going to be starting next to him in the 5 car. Rolling off in 4th, Carter Coop. Familiar name, going to be rolling off in 5th place. The inside, and another familiar name, Brent Pucari in the number 35. Going to be rounding out our field of 6.
Really love the graphics on a number of these cars. Very quintessential Saturday night short track kind of color schemes going on with the chrome numbers and a whole bunch of, you know, some of the cars are blank, some bright orange and white flames. It's just, this is how I've been watching. Guilty pleasure lately has been some Cletus McFarland. And after watching him in his ARCA race, I've been, you know, kind of casually following him. But, man, racing Crown Vics, Altimas, that's short tracks, that's stock car racing, man.
Really is quintessential grassroots racing. I mean, it doesn't get more grassroots than here. They tear up the grass and get on the dirt. For
dirt
these
roots
guys.
racing.
Dirt roots racing, if that is a term.
That's not.
We're going to see them tear up the dirt here in just a second. Pace Truck's going to be in. Freiberger going to be leading them down. And you're going to see that groove slowly expanding up. Going to see how these guys tackle this race. We're going to see Freiberger run away. Can Shane Wolf pull up a fight? Here we go. Truck in, and we're off and away. 24 breaking away, and immediately it's a battle for 2nd, maybe even 3rd. The number 12 of Overall going to move to the inside and make a move.
Immediately up a couple of spots. A little contact there between the 5 and the 52. Carter Coop bouncing off the door of Connor Hughes, and Pucari trying to go the long way around now. And we're already seeing drivers start to find some more purchase in that middle groove. When we get to the feature, this is going to be a multi-groove racetrack.
Right on where Brent Pucari has a feel of all the action directly ahead of him. And you see tight quarters there for 4th place as Carter Coop trying to find a way around. Going to have a slight look to the inside of Hughes and make a move in turn 3.
Yeah, that's a great move there, but does he have the throttle up on exit to do anything with that 5? Connor Hughes, a little bit more wheel speed leaving the corner, and for second place, Overholt's under fire from Shane Wolf.
Shane Wolf will move to the inside, but again, it's all about maintaining that momentum off the corner. That's the name of the game. Couldn't get it done. And the number 12 will stay in second place.
Freiberger's using this opportunity just to drive away. You pointed out that sort of was the case last week as well. Just put everything, all the dramas in the rearview mirror and focus out the windshield and leave everyone else to fight for scraps. Transfer spot, 4th place. Connor Hughes under fire.
Hughes under fire. The number 5 going to make a move to the inside. Carter Coop trying to work to the outside and get it. Will get that spot. And Brent Picari going to also use that purchase point to make a move himself and move up to 5th.
Yeah, he was struggling a little bit with his connection as well.
Oh, not
challenging. Ooh, that was tight.
Bully Picari out of the position and move Hughes up 1 spot. Meanwhile, for the lead, nothing much to mention here as Freiberger starts to drive away. Shane Wolf trying to catch back up to Overhaul, and Carter Coop trying to see if he can move up another spot. Oh, 14 to Shane Wolf on the wall.
He got it really good, too. He might have some damage there. And he got a little too high. Let's have a look.
That's another thing to talk about is that the damage model with these cars, they're very sensitive. They used to be able to tank hits on release. Now, not so much. You got to be careful. It's so easy to get damage, and I think just threw it out a little bit too hard.
Oh. Yeah, he got into it really good there. Kind of right rear, then into the right front. He's down on the pit lane and out. And I was going to make a point, and we'll maybe take a look at this in between next session. The lines that we're seeing in the corners are pretty wide, but the entry where they're initiating the slide is really slicked off. Watch on it right there. You see that slick spot right in the middle of the road? That area is really, really slick. And, you lose a little bit of control of where your car ends up when you have that slick. It's like hitting a patch of black ice before a corner, right? And look at the 35. Wow, and that was a huge send in the back. All the while, Overholt is catching Freiberger here.
And actually, we'll just miss out as that was a white flag lap. Checkers now as Freiberger takes the win. Overall, Carter Coop finishing in 3rd, and then Hughes, Brent Picari, and James Shane Wolf rounding out the top 6 there.
Yeah, the 35 took a huge swing at things into turn 3. Didn't really pan out the way he was hoping, but man, he sent it.
Yeah,
I told you, worst you can finish is 6th. Go for it.
I mean, and hey, you're not paying for your own equipment, right? You get a brand new car afterwards. You don't have to bring home your equipment in one piece.
Oh, you'd be a hero in short tracks everywhere if you could figure that one out. But Heat 4, let's do it again. Mason Kane and Jacob York on the front row for this one.
And taking a look there at our pole setter, Mason Kane in the number 31. Jacob York, as you mentioned, in 2nd place. Another quick driver last week from round number 1. Then we got Brad Slaughter, who was in the booth with me last week, back on the racetrack in the number 28 machine. We got the Budweiser there. That's a beautiful looking car. And then 99, Chris Seidenfeiden to his outside in 4th place. Casey Bormeyer in the 101. He's lined up in 5th. And Casey Lacatus, another familiar name. Going to be rounding out this field of 6 in a Honda.
Yeah, good to see so many familiar names here coming over from the pavement side. And I didn't know Honda was into dirt racing, but, hey, I have ridden in a Chop Top CRV in the Michigan rural woods. So
their interest in series changes like the weather, so you never quite know. I say that as a Honda fan. Very inconsistent.
Well, what has been consistent tonight is the aggression in these heats. It's been fun to watch. And one more pace lap before we turn this group of 6 loose.
And I want to take a look here, and you were talking about it before. You can see right there, it's reflecting off the lighting. You can see there that glassed up part where it's really compact and tight down. You mentioned that's where it's going to be really slick for these drivers. That's something to watch out. It's already starting to get compacted after only a couple heats.
Yeah, like I said, we're going to see the line move up and up and up, and we've seen that every heat pretty consistently. You can still make passes on the bottom, but it's hard to keep it gripped down there because these corners are so tight. This is not a racetrack that you can really have a smooth arc. It's a pretty pointy apex, but let's do racing here in the heats one more time.
One more time. Heat number 4 ready to get underway with Mason Kane leading the field down. And off they will go. Green flag in the air, and Kane immediately going to take the lead away from York and take the outside lane to the inside. Brad Slaughter trying to make a move.
Contact.
Contact. The 31 gets put in the wall, and that's going to be a race over immediately for him.
Wow, that is huge. That was a big hit there. We'll go back and take a look at it. Contact from the 97, Jacob York. He's also out. And I think the 97 just has a big send here. The 31 gets over-rotates. Bam. And just drags the front end along the concrete.
He said the 97 also had issue here. I think this might be late. Oh, he hit the wall, that opening in the wall, and that completely destroyed the right side of the car. So immediately, 2 front runners already out of this.
Yeah, that did not go well for them. The 28 of Brad Slaughter Jr. now leads this heat. The battles for second. Seidenfeiden, Casey Borgmeyer. And they're going to be racing pretty tight for second place here out of turn 2.
Yeah, Casey Lacatus in behind, trailing them down. He's going to improve his starting position after those 2 retirements. That's the first wreck we've actually seen in the heat. So all heat races last week went fairly clean and green, and so far the ones tonight fairly clean and green. It was the first major incident. Oh, the 101 there went into phase out of existence for just a quick second, but Chris Seidenfeiden's got to start worrying about him. Yeah, we haven't really seen Seidenfeiden hit the wall on the inside. That might have messed up the left front. You can see that wheel. I think he might have messed it up. It's vibrating hard.
Boy. Yeah, can he hang on to it for a couple more laps? It's not going to drive very good. Here comes
Borgmeyer
to the
struggling.
Oh. Yeah, and
he
hit
like
the wall
that.
again.
Half of the cars retired.
Man, that's tough.
And Casey Lacatus is smelling blood in the water. He's ready to bite at it because he can move up solidly in these heats. He's sitting in third, can move up to second, and caution's actually going to be out.
Yeah, I think that was for Seidenfeiden potentially?
I think so.
I was going to say, we hadn't. I instinctively went to hit my stream deck to show a replay as I'm so used to producing. We hadn't seen a car turned around yet, but Seidenfeiden had come to a stop on the racetrack. I think that's what triggered it.
Take a look and see.
Yeah, that's what it was. He just kind of came to a slow rolling stop and wasn't off the racetrack just yet.
I'll take a look and see the contact that he had because it was working so well, and he just messed up on the entry. Yeah, right here in turn 3.
You have to swing down and commit in a big way, but it gripped up more than he thought, just shot him to the inside. Once he hit that left front, you called it. That left front was not doing what he wanted it to do. The next time he goes down into the corner, he only had one car steering, or one tire steering.
Thought I was on board with him. Didn't realize it changed cars. Give me 1 second. Don't know why it's still doing that. But there's Chris Seidenfeiden right there. And see just that commitment. I think also part of that is due to, we talked about the entry to the corner. Man, it really likes going to Casey Lacatus on this replay. But we talked about here, this is where you're phasing over that part of the track that's compacted down. You lose that grip, and you see him trying to correct and move right, but unfortunately too late.
Yeah, just, again, overcommitted. And it's just so hard to change direction. Once you set your path, you're sort of on that ride until you get back in the throttle. We talk a lot about dirt racing and how, you steer it with the throttle. You're not on the throttle at that point in the corner. So, once you've got your trajectory selected, you're kind of along for the ride. Touchdown, the thrust reversers engage, and auto brakes are on at that point, right? So,
and Mason Kane's back on the racetrack, and he is 3 laps down, so he will not be really be in contention. But he'll just continue on and get a lap there. He actually might pass Chris Seidenfeiden, who's still in the pits. Brad Slaughter,
he's going to leave the pits. That car's really destroyed.
Yeah, well, like we said, good news is that you don't need it. You can get a brand new one for the race.
Yeah. Good crews down there. They're working hard.
Working hard to get them back in the show. And these drivers are going to start working harder. We got 4 laps left to go. No laps taken under caution. Still got those 4 left to go. It'll be 3, I think, when we cross the line. And see, can Brad Slaughter hold up Borgmeyer and Lacatus in behind him. Green flag back in the air.
We'll see if Lacatus will take a swing at Borgmeyer here. He's going to go the long way around, or try to kind of ride the cushion that's forming, but it's not quite formed enough. He's in the loose stuff. And now Mason Kane will get to the inside, not for position there, as you pointed out.
See Borgmeyer taking the inside lane, going to slide up a little bit, starting to lose that grip in the middle of the corner. You see that Brad Slaughter, he's moved up half a lane from the bottom, and that seems to be working out, one of the better places to be at the moment.
Kane in the fence.
Yeah, just trying to see if he can keep touch with the leaders, but Brad Slaughter working the way on through. Casey Lacatus on the outside, trying to see if he can muster up any sort of speed. White flag in the air.
He got a great run out of turn 4. Can he do anything with it, though? He's going to go to the high side again. And the 101, sorry, went to block it. Lakatos is going to turn down to the bottom. Here we go.
He's got a good run off the corner, has the chance to make a look. The 10 going to block the inside. Will he throw it in too hard? Can Lakatos make up? Oh, he threw it hard on Slaughter. Couldn't quite get there. Lakatos trying to gas it up. Can't quite get there. Brad Slaughter going to take the win.
That was cool. That almost, if they give him one more lap, they might have had that all shuffled. That deck might not have looked the same.
It's always the thing, right? One more lap if I would have had him.
Yeah. Every time. I was at Lime Rock last night with Miatas. It was the same thing there. One more lap, he would have got him. I'm sure of it. But can you ever be so sure? What a fun night so far. Nice, clean racing for the most part. And now we get to do our 50-lap feature and really see how the track transitions here for the Florida Citrus Classic at USA International Speedway here in Lakeland, Florida. And we've seen a lot, if we get that top-down shot again before we head back into the race, we mentioned that there was one lane that was sort of dried up and slicked off, and now it's about half the racetrack. So I imagine we'll see more drivers dipping those right rears up into that cushion to try to ride that thing and carry speed around the outside. It's hard to make it work here because of how long this place is, but I think we'll see some more of that next race. Yeah,
there's that shot you're asking for before. You can see that how much it's moved before. If you take a look and see how it was at the start of Heat 1, where it's effectively all loose gravel, it's very compacted down. It's moved all the way. It's moved up about a lane almost every time we've had the heats now. It's all in that outside lane, and now you're going to see, I think, a lot more, especially now when we throw all 24 of these guys out on the track. I think we're going to see a lot more guys go for the outside just to go defensive.
Yeah, and when they do that, when you start running everybody up at the top, you might see that middle to top groove start to get worn in even faster, and that actually opens up the opportunity to just drive back down to the bottom again. So that's what's so fun about dirt racing is you're always chasing conditions. Every single lap, the track's going to be a little bit different than it was before. So, in some ways, it's like the equivalent of pavement rain racing, right? Every lap, things are a little different. You're chasing conditions. Visibility can be a challenge at times, but it's just a lot of fun to go racing on the dirt. And big field, 24 cars here tonight, so you got to stay out of trouble. We haven't seen a lot of trouble in the heats, but we got everyone on track at once and long straightaways with a lot of high speed.
Yeah, I just wanted to bring it up to taking a look at how the track was. This is all the way in heat number 1, taking a look at it, and then cutting back to it live, how it is right now. You can see right there the huge change in how the track's evolved.
Yeah, I mean, it's a major difference, right? And I think given the uniqueness of this racetrack and how long the straightaways are, how tight the corners are, the track widening out will almost happen naturally just because it's so hard to run the same inside line every time. But I don't know that the outside right up against the wall will ever be the fastest way around here. But it is more comfortable when you can't keep your grip on the bottom to get alongside a guy. So that's why you said go defensive. It can be comfortable up there. Maybe it's just not the fastest way all the time.
Taking a look at Travis Beckner, definitely a favorite tonight. And, obviously, if you got a chance to see everyone get to the track, any particular favorites in your mind?
Oh, you have to circle this driver, right? He knows everything there is to know about dirt racing, and that's why I wanted to keep my eye on him during this session to see where he's running, right along the bottom. So, he's not going to be afraid by the fact that it's slicked off. He knows where the speed is. So that 27 is obviously a favorite, but you also have to look at guys like Tyler Gary that you pointed out. Currently, he was quickest for a moment. Dalton Kane has jumped to the top. But Gary was not afraid to race in his heat, was he? He was aggressive, and that aggression might pay off for him.
We also saw 25 Clayton Johnson, who was up there fighting with Travis Beckner for the majority of his heat in the opening run. So definitely another driver we want to kind of have circled or at least keep in the back of our mind. Brad Slaughter, of course, taking a fairly dominant win in his race. Yeah, he was one of those drivers I saw when they threw up a practice race earlier this week. He was running very quickly. I think actually won that practice race with just about half the field in it. Was definitely one to perform. I think definitely another one to keep an eye on. And I'm trying to look here through the others as start to get more drivers out here on the track. Dalton Kane as well in the 7. I think definitely another one to keep in mind. And also, where is Freiberger? Oh, he's not on the track. 24 as well. Another one to keep circled.
See where Kane's running, see where he is. He's way on the other end of the gripped in lane. He's up at the high side there, and a couple of other drivers are as well. So we saw the 27 on the bottom, the 7 on the top. Just interesting to see where drivers are practicing, where they're testing the grip, because this is the track well, with maybe a little bit more wear on it, this is the track that they're going to have for the start of this feature race.
You see a lot of the faster guys are running right there. You see number 19 up there a little bit higher testing the waters. But a lot of drivers working that middle of the track. You see them running right on where that loose part of the track is.
Oh.
Scott is getting a little bit sideways there, but everyone's testing the waters, and that's what you got to do because they're going to have to feel it up. They got about another lap in before we head green, and then you got to pretty much have this track figured out.
You can watch it transition in real time as drivers are moving the dirt around. It's a fascinating system that iRacing has built. And with 3 seconds left, warm-up is complete. And we've learned everything we can learn, and now it's going to be, first day at school all over again here once we go racing for this 50-lap event at USA.
Got 50 laps and also a bunch of cars on the track as well. So it's going to be a lot of drivers fighting for a very small amount of real estate, I think, as well. And then we mentioned also the longer straightaways. That's going to be something to be considered of as well, with just how many cars there going to be are. And especially in turn one, we saw a couple guys, they turned it in a little bit too hard and even jump a little bit of the grass on the inside there.
Yeah, I mean, again, you got to be aggressive with it. We saw the Seidenfeiden car get a little bit too much of that inside previously. But yeah, this is going to be a lot of fun. 50 laps around here. There's a lot of time to make things happen. But if we don't get yellows, we only saw one in the heats. If this thing runs green, I don't think starting 10th on back is going to be very helpful. You got to be right up at the front there. Clear racetrack, not a lot of traffic. That's why I think your winner is going to come from the first 5 positions if this goes green from flag to flag.
Hey, you never know. If things get crazy, it could come from the first 5 rows. I mean, you got a really solid lineup. Beckner, Gary, Freiberger, Slaughter, Johnson, your top 5. I mean, those are all the quickest. I mean, I'm pretty sure those are all the heat winners all lined up in those first 5 spots. But even behind them, Kane, Overhaul, Borgmeyer, Swan, Martin, all drivers we saw also be very quick in behind.
All right. That slicked off middle zone that we talked about earlier, you see how much wider that is than it was the last time we talked about it. And that's because this racetrack, while it is long as far as the straightaways, it's also kind of narrow, relative to its length. So, when you go off into the corners, like I said, everyone's sort of making the same transition. These cars, you can probably only fit 2 of them nose to tail across the width of the track. So when you get the thing sideways, the car kind of has to be within a 20-foot zone across the width of the track. So, it's cooled off a little bit. It's humid here, though, in Florida. Holy cow. But
I mean,
what
it makes sense.
Yeah, I mean, it's they definitely have that figured out. Just my point is that every time you make that transition to throw the thing into turn 1, everyone's doing that in the same spot. And they're just changing their trajectory on where they're going to land by when they initiate, how much angle they get. It's almost like, drifting, like Formula Drift, right? Planning your initiation, your angle, your wheel speed, all to point the car where you want it to be so you can get back on throttle sooner.
Taking a look off the back of Travis Beckner. You can see everyone lined up in behind. We are going to be 24 cars strong here, working 50 laps here at USA Speedway. And I think a very, very entertaining race up near the front. A very solid amount. I honestly genuinely don't know who has a shot of winning this race better, but got some tough competition up at the top of the order. Pace Truck's going to pull off to the inside. 50 laps on the board, and we are immediately getting it underway. We are green here at USA.
Yeah, Beckner didn't waste any time. He's already cleared the front row. 3 wide into 1, the mid-pack there, the 19. Stuck middle of the road, and the 26, Tyler Gary. He's out of the groove. Look out, it's going to be a stack up out of 2.
Out of the groove, like you mentioned, and in traffic already, trying to keep it and minimize the damage already. But you see Johnson already moving up to 3rd place as they sort themselves out for the most part for lap number 1.
Carter Coop, middle, 3 wide, going off into turn 1. That's P13. He's still in the middle, trying to make things work. And watch the squeeze out of the corner. There's still 3 abreast back there.
Brad Slaughter working to the outside. That is Overall in the middle, or I should say ahead of him in the middle of the racetrack. Slaughter still trying to work to the outside. The purchase is gone. That's a surrender 1 spot. Dalton Keenan behind. He's going to throw it to the inside.
Man, he almost clipped the end of the pit wall there, didn't he? That was big commitment early on. He's going to slip up and shoot the gap between the 20 and the 8.
Here comes 20 of Ryan Swan. He's going to move to the inside, throw it up, trying to make a move. But again, we talked about that lane moving up. There's not a lot of grip there. Some contact. It's still more contact down the straightaway. The 7's going to hang on to it. Ryan Swan will move around, as well as the 17 of Martin taking advantage of the situation.
Yeah, Borgmeyer, he wanted to take advantage of that, but got all crossed up, having to check up. And Mason Kane will take advantage of that in the orange car, go the long way around as the 7 gathers it back up, and he will re-engage his pursuit. A little more contact there in turn 4.
Still more contact in behind, but it is tight quarters up for the lead.
Behind him, that was the 97 of Jacob York. He got knocked sideways. Straighten it back out, will stay green.
There was Jacob York in the background, but up ahead for the lead. Very tight quarters. Look at these guys flying formation. Beckner, Freiberger, Johnson, your top 3, and don't count out Gary in the background. He's caught back up.
Yeah, he certainly has. And big move by Freiberger to the bottom. But Beckner riding the cushion is going to have a better drive off.
Yeah, that outside lane is where the place to be. And you can see Johnson taking advantage of the situation, working the outside, but Freiberger charging it in, going to slide in front of Beckner, force him to get on the brakes, and it's going to be Freiberger that takes the lead off turn 4.
What a drive, and here comes the 25, and Clayton Johnson to the inside, contact there. Beckner moves up the racetrack. Everybody's into everybody here at the front.
And they enter 3 wide, they come back out, almost 3 wide. Gary going to slide in behind the 27 of Beckner, who will hold the lead. Johnson keeping that outside. You see them throwing in big commitment in turn 4.
Yeah, Beckner wanted to get back to the top so he could block this run from Clayton Johnson. He's done that. Gary to the bottom now. He's going to make a big send into 1, and it looks like Freiberger's going to follow him down there.
Big send is an understatement. And these guys are going to, someone's going to hit that pit wall at some point the way they're throwing into the corner. But this actually caused overall to get back up in the background in P5. Still not done yet. Beckner, a big charge to the inside. Gary trying to work that outside and get back around him. Freiberger trying to get back up in 3rd place.
Gary jacked him up out of turn 4 at the 25, riding through the dirt on the bottom. Contact, big door-to-door contact with the 26. Gary's middle 3 wide.
These guys have been aggressive with the sends, and I feel like you almost kind of have to with the nature of the corner. If you want to make the pass, you have to throw it in there.
Yeah, you have to, but they're throwing it in there and getting immediately passed back, so they got to check their aggression as well. Gary's going to do the same here on the bottom, but there's nowhere for him to slip up to. The 24 is going to turn down contact.
Freiberger's going to be around, and that's going to be the first caution of the race, or at least it should be.
Yeah, there it goes. I have one now. There it is.
Yeah, it took a little while, but it is out. Take a look at what happened there. We kind of saw it.
Yeah, so Tyler Gary in that 26, he shot this big gap. And what happened when he did that was he ended up sort of fitting in a hole that he couldn't get into.
Gonna have to give me a second here. iRacing is not wanting to cooperate with me.
Yep, so I'm just trying to get a look at it here. Okay, yeah, so watch the 26. He's going to slide in right in here. There was no space. The 24 turns down, and the 225 was already on his way up the hill. So they're just 2 cars going for a space that wasn't about to be there.
See if we can get it all right on board with Overhaul. I think he got a great view of it. I think everyone is just converging in the same piece of real estate. See 24 come down, 25 come up, and there they met. And whoa, he did a great job avoiding that.
Nice direction change there by Overhaul to miss what could have been a pretty big hit there. And honestly, the 225 of Clayton Johnson, he was sort of headed for the wall anyways. He really got jacked up middle of the corner, and he just ended up colliding with the 24 coming down the hill. But he was on a pretty wild upward trajectory there, so he might have ended up in the fence regardless.
Gotta say, that was a fantastic opening stint. That was amazing.
Yeah, I was gonna say this crap is crazy, man. Dirt racing stuff. This makes Spec Miatas look like child's play.
Yeah, it was really, really great opening run. I mean, you have 24 of these guys, and they weren't putting around. They were going at it, sending it into the corner, but they gave each other room. Of course, you saw there a fairly minor incident in the grand scheme of things, but a very, very good opening stint. And like I said, I felt like that top 5 was going to be the ones to watch, and it sure was right there. Yeah,
look top down again. Have a look at the track and how much more it's widened out since even the beginning of this race. That was only 10 laps ago. And look, I mean, we've almost gone all the way out to the wall.
Yeah, there's not that much prime real estate left for these drivers to work with, and I think that's going to make it even more aggressive. You can see right there as they're pacing through turns 1 and 2, there is not a lot of loose gravel. It is all effectively up against the wall. That cushion's really going to start to form if it hasn't already.
Yeah, these late models have long tails too, so you can't really put the tire all the way up against the fence without knocking your bodywork into it. So it gets a little tricky to ride that edge.
Well, I'm going to get back to racing here. Clock was paused. It's going to get restarted once more, coming to lap 11. 10 laps complete, 40 laps to go. Beckner going to lead him down once more out of turn 4, and we are back green here at USA.
Great restart by Beckner. He's been in command of those. A little bit of jockeying and off into the corner. The 5 of Connor Hughes took a big run down the hill. Car in the wall, Mason Kane, 31. He's in it, climbing the fence, up on his side for a moment.
And he will keep it going in the right direction, so we will not have a caution. Meanwhile, for the lead, Tyler Gary working the inside. Can he complete it? He will not. Has to move back to second place. Overall in third. Trying to make some moves. Then see if he can get second place away from Gary.
Yeah, this front group, they have been really aggressive. More contact in the back. Connor Hughes is broke. That car's crashed. And he might not make it back to the pit lane. He's going to try. He's got it moving, but both sides of the front suspension broken on that car as Gary goes for the lead again.
Oh, he just slots himself in front of Oral. Not sure he's going to like that. Johnson, meanwhile, moving to the inside again, will force Gary out of the way, take third, maybe second.
Connor Hughes just got it limped back to pit lane. I was wondering if he'd clear the racetrack before the leaders got there. Tyler Gary sliding up the hill, but nowhere for his car to fit. Oh, contact!
Pushes Johnson to the wall. Heavy contact off of turn 4. Massive wreck. And they've not really crashed, so they will continue going. The 52 Carter Coupe, he's around. And I think that might throw it out there. Yeah. There it is. Took a while.
He got just picked up and dumped off like a coyote in a snowplow. trying to be relatable somehow. That analogy,
that's definitely one way to do it. We'll take a look here.
This was a half a lap wreck. I mean, this was a big one.
It was a long one. So here's a contact off of turn 4. Gary and Johnson puts up Martin. Martin gets turned around a little bit. And you can see right there at the end, it was going slow, and then Carter Coupe in the wall. It's hard to turn right when you're going straight in these things, and around he went.
I think Coupe's suspension was already broken from the contact he had to the front of the car.
Yeah, that would make sense. That was some decent amount of contact. They were right on board with him.
Yeah, I think he didn't have much choice, and he was just trying to get it slowed down. It got kind of looped around from behind.
See his point of view. He was running really well. I think he was in 7th or 8th place at this point. Hit Jordan Martin, and I think that already messed up his car, and then into the inside wall he went.
Just slowly gets looped around, then kind of takes a big wallop there again.
Take a look and see Johnson's point of view in all this.
To the outside of Gary. It just kind of gets used up.
A solid hit from behind, but I think that was Martin that got into him, and then he was just kind of trailing along, trying to keep it going the right direction, stay out of everyone's way. For the most part, actually, everyone did a great job avoiding this.
Yeah, we only really had one car turned around. Lots of people bouncing off each other, but that's dirt racing.
And there's a couple cars coming to the pits for repairs. Brad Slaughter, that E-car is torn up.
Yeah, there are definitely some torn up cars. I am surprised at the fragility of these cars, as you pointed out.
Yeah, because they used to be tanks on the older damage model. You obviously you couldn't throw them into the wall, but you were able to ride it here and there. You could take some hits, but they are very fragile, especially around the wheels.
Yeah, for sure. So you got to, which I like because it creates a little bit more of a cautious driving behavior, which is good when you're wheel to wheel. You don't want to have your first instinct to be to slam into somebody, but we'll double them up. We'll go again. Love and Beckner on the restarts. If we get a late race restart, this 27's on the front row. I'm liking this, but he does have the advantage of that jump. So, if he's not leading, does he still have that same ability to jump to the lead?
We shall see. He'll be able to take advantage of the situation, but overall, got to say, definitely he was a little bit quieter in the early runnings, but I think definitely one we're going to have to keep an eye on for this run. Running up in second place. He's not been lower than 7th. We'll see if he can get up there on the top step as we come to the green. There goes Beckner diving down low. Going to try to secure the lead. Ooh, Dalton Kane almost going to make it 3 wide down the front straightaway. Back in the air we go green.
Again, Beckner on the restart. Really solid run. Moving way up to that outside lane. We're seeing a lot more drivers dropping those right rears in the cushion. Overholt to second. Around Tyler Gary, who had a shot out of the 7, just throws it in there. Too much for Dalton Kane.
Yeah, again, the track's really only getting worse and worse for these drivers, so it's hard to make those big sends, those big commitments, because you're expecting the car to grip, and sometimes it might not be there. Gary's still stuck on the bottom, fighting with Overall. He's not giving up.
3 wide behind him. That was a little dicey there.
Here's Freiberger in the middle of this.
Yeah, trying to make his way back forward. See, it started third as low as 22nd. That's a heck of a day.
busy day in the office, and they're still not even halfway done with this yet. So he still has a chance to get up there. In behind Jordan Martin for now. In behind them, a bunch of cars fighting for positions. Jordan Navarro, I haven't talked about him, but he's been in the thick of it. As well as Jacob Bell right here. You see him right in the bottom.
Yeah, he started 14th. Good progress here for Jacob Bell. It's been slow but steady. And that car's in pretty good shape. Little jockeying out of the corner. Big send from the 97 to York. That was a huge lunge. And he'll get up in front of the 10.
Try to secure that spot, and there we go. He'll move ahead in front of Borgmeyer. Keep that spot at the moment. As he looks to the inside, there's Shane Wolf in the background, the 14. He's looking to the inside as well. Taking a look back at our leaders, because this can change in an instant, especially Tyler Gary disappearing off the screen. Big Sen will take second place, though.
Yeah, he was crossing the Florida State line there with that move, and then Overholt back to the bottom, and Dalton Kane watching from behind. Dalton's been really aggressive with the sends on corner entry, but hasn't had clear track enough to make them go anywhere.
Got a poor exit out of turn 4. You can see already the 26 of Gary trying to take advantage. Moves a dive to the inside. Ooh, Travis Beckner gets to the wall in the middle of 1 and 2.
Yeah, it shouldn't be a huge deal, but you don't want to make a habit out of that. Again, Kane with
overall, he hit the left front. I'm not sure he damaged it, though.
It looks okay, but we saw Seidenfeiten do that, and it ended his race. So I think he got away with it, but you don't want to do that again.
And Dalton Kane, he's moved out of position. He's trying to get ahead of the 12 machine.
Oh, boy, tight squeeze. The other thing is did he weaken that suspension now with that hit? So he's got to be cautious with getting into anybody else's bodywork with that and continue to damage that fragile suspension geometry that these cars rely so heavily on.
Everyone flying into turn 1. Most of the leaders, you see them right there. They're finding where that cushion is. More jockeying in the back for position, though, as they're kind of using up as much real estate as they can to make these moves happen.
Yeah, again, we figured we'd see that transition all the way up to that outside wall, but maybe not so early in this race. So this will give us the opportunity to maybe slick off the upper groove and make that bottom a more attractive option here towards the end of this race.
See Shane Wolf in a battle for position there with Jacob Bell. Ooh, the 96 gets in front of him. He turns him around in front of Ben Punkari. And not sure if that brought the yellow out. Looks like we pretty green.
Kept the green there. That just enough movement to appease the officials.
And look ahead of Travis Beckner. We got some lap car. That's going to make this even more dicey up here.
Yeah, I think, was it one of the 52 a coupe? I can't tell from this angle. Looks like
it might be, and the 5 as well.
Yep,
looks like Carter Coupe sticking down and out of the lane, trying not to interfere with these drivers.
Caution.
The caution will fly. Not sure what for. It looks like the 56 is slowing off the pace.
Yeah, that's Christian DeBoer, and let's have a look at the replay here. And this is an interesting one.
Yeah, almost looked like it might have been a self-spin here. We'll take a look and see.
Watch the 96 ahead of him, too.
It was the 90. So the 96 got loose, and he checked up to avoid making contact, and he did a great job of doing so. Car's in one piece. Fortunately, the caution had to come out.
Yeah, I'm confused now because, that was, for a second, he ended up the leader somehow through some scoring issues.
The scoring gets very weird with the when you don't count the caution laps, I've noticed. As well as many other things going weird. You would not love to see my timing screen. It's been showing Austin Davis and Chris Seidenfeiten as the leaders for the last 20 laps.
I just have to wonder, speaking, kind of breaking the fourth wall here a little bit with CPU load, because, again, I haven't really experienced any issues with heat-related things, but I'm on a 2-system setup as far as the streaming goes. So I'm curious if that might have something to do with it.
I mean, I would hope not. I have a 9800X3D, which is quite literally one of the best gaming GPUs in the market.
And you're playing a game
very unfortunate.
Not that well optimized.
I have so many more cores, though.
Yeah, and they're doing nothing like highway construction workers, man. All standing around with a shovel looking at the hole getting dug by one dude. Yeah,
like I just refreshed it, and now it's showing Travis Beckner in 11th for me.
Oh, good. And Jimmy Johnson still won his 8th championship.
Hey, he almost won a Daytona. He finished 3rd.
I know, that was wild. No one noticed for like 25 minutes.
Did notice. Everyone's amazed with the record. It was like, wait, Jimmy's in 3rd?
Yeah, we both did that at the same time, too. I mean, we don't normally associate Jimmy Johnson with Toyota either, so it's still a little foreign.
Hey, can you imagine telling that to someone 10 years ago?
Oh, yeah.
Jimmy would leave Hendrick Motorsports, come back, buy
Kyle
part
Busch
of
drives
Richard
for-
Petty Motorsports.
Kyle Busch drives for Richard Childress now.
Yeah. Weird Bizarro world, and we'll see how Bizarro can get here. They're actually just about a tick over to halfway. This thing is still far from over.
It sure is, and there's a lot of racing left to do, isn't there?
It's quite a bit of racing. We'll see what they can do here. Travis Beckner in the lead. Still, no one has been able to take this spot away from him. We'll see that can change. Can Talagari find some sort of move here in the later going and in the second half to make a move? We'll see. Green flag back in the air. Overall, a big move to the inside. Oh, and Beckner in the wall.
He's going to try to drive down the racetrack, use the banking as a ramp, but he's got to clear Overholt here this time if he wants to hang on to this lead. And he will, but for how long? Here comes Gary to the bottom.
Gary taking advantage of the situation. I think that both are. They saw a big mistake from Travis Beckner. We haven't seen many mistakes out of this 27. That could have been it right there. And then we go back 3 wide here for third place. The 10 on the inside, Zabo. We haven't talked about him. He's up there now trying to make a name for himself.
Yeah, he's up here in the mix now, up to P4. Gary on the bottom still trying to make inroads on Travis Beckner. And he's making progress. This is what I talked about, that bottom lane. As the top gets more and more used and abused, he's going to clear for the lead.
Can he hold on to it? Here comes Beckner back on the inside. Drag race down the back straightaway. Beckner most likely going to send it to the inside. There he goes, and he's going to have to park the apex. Can Gary overcome it? Doesn't look quite. That was a great quarter by Travis Beckner. He minimized the damage from that slide.
Wow, what a move by Gary again off into turn 1. But he didn't keep the speed up enough.
That worked out great for him. He actually held it. Wow. That inside lane is really starting to come back. I think more than we were expecting.
Yeah, well, it was certainly on my radar, but I didn't know that it was going to be that violently aggressive as far as the change. So, and then will we see it even swing back the other way to the top?
Dalton Kane making a move to the inside, trying to get ahead of the number 12 in behind. The 10 making contact, Zabo overall. And here's Freiberger back in the mix. He's back up here.
Yeah, sneaking back up into the mix, P6 for now.
Working to the inside, almost making door-to-door contact. You guys are fighting very close quarters. The 10 in front of Zabo going to block the 24's line. The 12 in the wall. So is Dalton Kane.
Yeah, great battle back here, but it's all for third. Beckner and Gary starting to grow a gap.
Oh.
Gary going for the lead, and big moves here.
Dalton Kane, not sure he had contact with the 10, but he's going to shuffle back in the order. 3 wide and behind them. Hello.
Oh, I think there's going to be some cars with damage after that. The 24 get the roughest end of that.
It looks like 24 is going to continue. I think overall might have got the worst end of that. Well, at the very least, he's gotten shuffled out of line, and now he's falling back into the clutches. I think that's Jacob Bell fighting with him.
Yeah, it is. He's up to 6th place. Nice run for him. He's got Overholt to the outside. Jacob York with a big move there on Borgmeyer just behind.
Great fights for position here. Jacob York going to throw it ahead of Borgmeyer. He's going to get that spot and move himself up to 8 as a caution will fly. I want to assume this is near the back of the order.
I think you're going to have to... Oh, I thought it might have been the 8, but it was not. He hit pit lane, but...
I don't know, I might need you for the assistance here. I have no clue.
It could have been for the 8, but I don't know exactly why.
Take a look and see. Find out.
I'm trying to see if I can find a caution.
Oh, I think, yep, this is him right here. He's already had some damage. The car's not going in the right direction. He stops right there. And I think he might have got into the turn 1 wall, I think a little bit too aggressively here.
Yeah, just sends it in,
right
jumps
there.
the cushion. Oh, just drags the right front. And it's rough. You see all those dirt piles and dirt clods that have accumulated there.
And
you get into the outside wall. Yeah, you don't necessarily just ride along it. You bounce up and down pretty violently. So here's the crazy thing about these short laps when they only take you 20 seconds. If we go back green and we stay green, we have, what, 18 some odd laps to go?
Yep.
6 minutes is all we got left. I mean, that's how quick things happen.
Yeah, these races go flying on by. But this actually felt like a long one, not necessarily in a bad way, because there's been so much action all across the field.
Oh yeah, it's been great. I mean, this has been fun for me because I haven't done a lot of high horsepower stuff as of late, with the exception of the Indy Elite Series. So been fun to see some, big V8s thundering around a short track and kind of reacquaint myself with the dirt system. It's been a while since I've kind of been in this element, learning a lot. And the visuals and the sounds, it is a party, isn't it?
Really is a party, and the party is about to get started again in one more lap. Also, look at the dirt all over the nose of these cars. It looks absolutely awesome. Things are filthy, and that's how you know they've been out there going hard.
Yeah. So now, the 26 is on the bottom. We've seen that sort of be the preferred lane to make passes, but that outside, I still think that there's speed up there, and Beckner might be the right driver to give it a go.
See a really solid top five there. Gary, Beckner, Zabot, Kane, and Freiberger. And we'll see now with a new change in leadership. Will this affect the way this restart goes? Calgary going to lead him down. Here they come flying out of turn 4 once more. Green flag back in the air, 18 to go.
Well, Philip York, big lunge from 6th place. Gary's going to lead out of turn 2. 3 wide for 3rd.
3 wide, race down the back straightaway. The 24 looking to the inside of Zabot and Kane, who's on the outside. And the caution actually will fly once more. Not sure who that was.
96, Jordan Navarro, and the 5 as well.
Oh, looks like the replay is working again once more.
Yeah, watch the 5 and the 96.
Oh, there. Missed the end of it there.
I think these will be sort of self-initiated here. Yeah, the 5 and the 9 right there.
And contact with the 96, slow spin there.
Nice dodge and weave by Ryan Swan.
And he was able to avoid calamity there, but back under caution once more. And for the leaders, I don't think much of a change in order. I think Travis Beckner retained 2nd place.
Yeah, he did, but I think he's been committed to the outside groove. I'm curious if he'll start searching for the bottom on this restart after they get back green, because I do think that he's noticing Gary's not really under fire when he's running that bottom group. I mean, I think that what we're learning here is when the grip level is equivalent across the whole track here, whether it's at the very start of the night or the very end of the night, the short way around seems to be the advantage. But it's in the in-between states where, you've got the slicked off bottom from everyone using it early. You're going to go to that middle, the high side. You're going to wear those things out, and then the short way is the quick way again.
Yeah, I mean, just taking a look here, and you can really, really see how compact it is, especially on the entry of the corner.
You can see 2 distinct cushions.
Yeah.
Where there's one where the right rear is dragging on the inside, and the one where the right rear is dragging on the outside there.
Yeah, you can see right there. Here's another look at it. So really, wow. And we're kind of at the point of the night where it's either, like you mentioned before, you're either really fast up near the top or fast near the bottom. Maybe somewhere in the middle you can kind of make work.
That's a great shot there. You can see the 2 glossy areas on the bottom groove, and then there's a little bit of a no man's land and then a glossy groove in the middle. Cool stuff. Great shot.
Oh, it just always love just seeing the amount. It just really shows the amount of work iRacing put into it, because it is awesome. Second to none when it comes to dirt racing.
Yeah, the shaders and the visuals are unbelievable. So realistic.
Let's go back again. We're going to have almost a 3 wide start here. Dalton Kane out of line. Yeah, that might mess things up a little bit here as you get the green back in the air with Gary leading them down with Beckner. Beckner working hard to the outside, side by side for both of them.
Oh, Beckner's up a little bit too high, dragging the right rear quarter panel on the fence. Going to try to keep the thing tacked up. It's a hornet's nest for about 5th spot, though.
Yeah, they're all duking diver position. Bryce Senizak up here near the front in the middle of this mix. Gonna make contact with Freiberg. His 24 is around. He's gonna get heavy contact. His car, I think only next to destroyed. As caution flag in the air once more.
Yeah, that was a big hit for a couple of drivers there. That'll take out a few more cars.
He's still getting hit after the fact. Take a look and see what happened to him.
Yeah, this was already a little wild after the restart here. Pitches it in.
You can see the 97 there in the background. And then, but it was Bryce Senizak, that contact that sent him around. Borgmeyer got into him. Shane Wolf, nowhere for them to go.
Yeah, it looked like the 24 was coming down the hill. He was driving down the road to sort of use that ramp on exit. And Senizak, I don't think Senizak came up. He was already sort of committed. So I think he'll be screaming at the other car there.
I have people disappearing on me. Where is Shane Wolf running at?
I have Shane Wolf.
Where did he go?
Shane Wolf?
Oh, there he is.
P8 is where I have him. Missing some fenders. He's on the pit lane at the moment. There's a tire sitting on pit lane too.
Wonder whose it is. Here's a look at Shane Wolf's point of view.
Yeah, not really much you can do here.
There was almost a lane on that top side, but it closed up on him pretty quickly.
Yeah, try to get back rolling there and kind of got clobbered right at the end.
Take one more look with Bryce Senizek. Hey, I always say sometimes you're the bat, sometimes you're the ball.
Yes, I don't know that Senizek really does anything wrong here. He's just going to be committed. He's going to get his angle set and then watch the 24 come down the road. Maybe Senizek's going up a little, not there. 24 comes down.
Chaos in behind him.
Wow, that's a big hit for the 24 on the driver door there. One to green.
One to green.
Single file restarts too?
Yeah, they usually after a couple of cautions in quick succession, they throw them single file. I think we saw that towards the end of linear after we had a couple in succession, so to make it a little bit cleaner. Single file restarts for these drivers.
Always love that became a toggleable function.
Yeah, I know.
That was handy on the pavement a couple times.
Yeah. And we'll see how this is going to change. It's going to change the restart dynamic quite a bit. Tyler Gary ahead of Beckner. Beckner trying to look to the inside, see if he can jump the restart a little bit. Couldn't quite get there. Big jump for Gary, back green here at USA.
Almost restarted like an Indy car, all the way up against the outside wall.
Gonna have to do it to take advantage of the situation as Travis Beckner trying to block it down on the bottom. Dalton Kane in behind. The 10 of Zabu working in, as well as the 77 of Jacob Bell, who's started up here in the late mix.
Yeah, I'm surprised Beckner's been so committed to that outside. He seems much more comfortable up there now, but hasn't. Well, now he goes to the bottom. That's what I was going to say. I thought we'd see someone as experienced as him pivot to the bottom as soon as he picked up that the 26 was using it to effect.
You see a lot of drivers electing to go to the bottom, at least for the leaders. And as I say that, Beckner going up top, he's experimenting, trying to find where the grip is. Dalton Kane, while he's experimenting, might lose second, but Beckner going to go flying out of turn 4 and keep it ahead.
And it's confusing because right there you saw him use the outside to great effect. So it's just, you have to search every lap. It's constantly changing. 97 and 77 having a good battle here.
Jacob York on the wall a little bit. That's going to allow Jacob Bell to get ahead. He tries to look to the inside. You're going to push Bryce Senizek out of the way 3 wide for just a second.
Yeah, Senizek thought better of that, backed out. That was smart. Saw that there was no way those 3 cars were going to come out the other side in one piece.
Now if they go once more.
Oh, 225. Big hit out of turn 4. Clayton Johnson. But, whoa, he's still out of control. Now he's up against the cushion.
He's trying to get back. Trying to get back in this thing. You saw him fighting up for the lead earlier on. He was relegated back down the order, and he is running still on the lead lap, but he's got some damage to that thing.
And adding more to it that time through as well.
You see some modifieds in the middle of the field as well.
Yeah.
A couple guys missing their nose. Ooh, Jacob Bell and Bryce Senizek going for position here. Battle for 6 between them.
Great little battle here. Then Odie overhaul.
Whoa! Bell sideways out of turn 4, killed his speed. Senizek's on by. Here comes Jordan Martin. And overall, we haven't talked about in a little while.
Yeah, again, he got kind of faded to the back after an incident a little while ago. He's moving his way forward, back into 9th place. Trapped here, nowhere to go. Up underneath the 77, though.
Almost got a little bit of a shove, a little bit of a bump and run. There's not much to really bump with these things.
No. Just get up underneath them.
It's going to go 3 wide here.
Yeah, shoot the gap there. Watch the 77 on the outside. It's going to tighten up on exit if that 17 isn't clear. Almost 4 wide for a moment.
Orwell going to force the issue.
Dalton Kane and Travis Beckner side by side.
Not going to hold. Beckner still holding on to second place, but he's losing sight of the leader as we're under 10 laps to go.
Yeah, it was over a second for a few laps, and actually Beckner is kind of taking chunks out of it. It was just a couple of hundredths last time. I don't know if it's consistent enough to call it a gain. That time it was a gain 2/10 quicker than Tyler Gary. Sort of.
And Beckner still having to worry about Dalton Kane, who's still working it on the bottom, and now Travis Beckner goes down low.
Yeah, I do think Beckner still got something left in the tank, but he's running out of laps.
Running out of laps as Talageri starts to manage that gap, if not pull a little bit ahead. You can see Beckner trying to ride the cushion, trying to catch back up to him.
I think what Gary might be running into now is overuse of the bottom again once everyone figured out that was where he was running.
Yeah.
And so his advantage has gone away, but and Beckner's actually been quicker, but he's going to run out of laps.
Beckner low in 1 and 2, high in 3 and 4. You see the car jumping the cushion, especially Johnson up ahead. His car jumping the cushion as he goes a lap down. Beckner having to swerve out of the way.
Oh, and the 7 of Dalton Kane had to take major evasive action there. Lost some ground to Beckner, but that'll allow Travis to focus out the windshield and not have to worry about where the 7 is and how hard he's attacking.
Not many battles further on back.
No, it did cost him some time, that little exchange with the lap car. A piece of debris in the middle of the racetrack, too.
It's fine, don't worry about it.
I'm not
everyone's
going
high, everyone's going low.
That was a good gain that corner for Beckner, but he gave it back up on exit.
Under 5 laps to go here, and you can see, look at Gary all the way to the bottom, Beckner up on top, Kane down on bottom. And also how much the field spread out. Oh, a little bit of a battle here further on back. Bryce Senizak fighting with...
overall? Clayton Johnson, I believe.
Oh.
Brought out a yellow.
And a late race yellow, that's going to spice things up as he's down on pit road. Let's see what happened to him.
Sort of the same thing we saw with Slaughter, where kind of ground along the wall and then came to a stop here. You'll see.
He was getting a little bit too friendly with the wall, I thought. He was really forcing it there. I think he was really just trying to ride it out and see how it could work, but rode it up on and that damaged the car enough he had to sit there. That's what brought out the yellow.
And with only 4 laps to go. So for Travis Beckner, that was a gift because it'll close up the 0.8 of a second gap. But that gift comes with a caveat in that everybody else gets to close up that gap too. That 7 car has been a real threat. So Travis has got to be on it on this restart. And what I did like is that he was doing everything that Tyler Gary was not. So if Gary went to the bottom, he ran the top. If Gary went to the top, he went to the bottom. And I don't think you're going to beat him by doing the same thing he's doing. So I like that call.
Yeah, you're definitely going to have to want to experiment, do something a little bit different than what your other competitor is doing. Otherwise, you're just going to be following them around all the way. And, well, that's not the last thing you want, especially with so few laps left to go.
The aggression level is going to be pretty high from the cars in behind. And if we stay single file on this restart, which I imagine we will. I haven't seen a command come through that we would change it back to double.
Yeah, well,
that will benefit the 27 if they stay single, because not only do you keep someone from being kitty corner or right alongside you, you actually have a better view of the leader that way.
Yeah, and if you like what you're watching, well, definitely stay tuned, because on March 5th we're going to be up for our first Crown Jewel event, 100 laps at Volusia Speedway. It'll be double points for that event as well. So definitely stay tuned and see these drivers get on a slightly bigger stage with slightly more at risk and slightly more of a reward. It's March 5th, Volusia Speedway, 100 laps, the VDRA Sunrise Showdown.
I don't even know if I own Volusia.
I do, I'm pretty sure.
But all right, 1 to green. Going to be 4 laps to go at the resumption of this. Travis Beckner is going to be tucked right up underneath the spoiler of that lead car. And Tyler Gary is going to have to run. Stole the lead away from Beckner on the bottom. We'll see if Beckner can return the favor.
See here, this could very much be the last restart of the race. We'll see Tyler Gary in first, Travis Beckner second, Dalton Kane third, Zabo in fourth, Jacob York rounding out your top 5. And that order has changed quite a bit for the most part, except for really these front 2. They've been consistent. Gary versus Beckner has been the star of the night. We'll see, does it change in the last few laps here coming to the green? 3 laps to go. Gary off and away in the middle of 3 and 4, and we're off and away.
Yeah, not a bad restart, though, by Beckner. He was pretty much right with Gary on that. He's going to have a shot at this here, I think. He's going to follow Gary on the bottom here.
Not many shots, but he's definitely kept there. Lost a little bit on the exit. Gary got a great run out of turn 2.
Yeah, Gary's been really, really good. Beckner to the top. There's the 7 car. This is what Beckner can't afford to do, is spend any time battling that 7 where he has to change his line.
2 laps to go at the stripe. Beckner trying to see if he can get anything up on the 26, but don't count out that 7. He's been a thorn in the 27 side the last 10, 15 laps.
Yeah, good corner for the 27. Oh, he's gone to the high side again. Still trying to search for grip, and he's in the fence. Last lap.
Here we go. White flag in the air. 1 more to go here at USA. It is Tyler, Gary, Beckner, Dalton, Kane still. Does Beckner have 1 more shot in 3 and 4? Can he throw it in there?
Yeah, he's going to have to do something big and wild. Otherwise, he's not going to get there. He's given it all he's got. But Tyler Gary has put on a show tonight.
Yeah, he's put on a show, and he'll come sliding out of turn 4. Beckner trying to gas it up and get there, but it won't be enough. Gary, the winner here at USA. Travis Beckner in second, with Kane rounding out your top 3.
Wow, that was a great drive by Tyler Gary. Job well done. How many laps did he lead in the 26?
It's a great question. Take a look here. Didn't get a chance to see. 18. Oh,
got crashed right at the end there.
Not sure that was friendly or aggressive.
Yeah, he didn't really get himself into a whole lot of trouble tonight, but Beckner led 24 laps, so a few more than Gary did. But it just came down to Gary was willing to try that bottom before anybody else, and that's what made the difference. Earlier experimentation, or just being, getting ahead of the game there. He wasn't chasing the racetrack. He got ahead of it, and I think that's what won him this race.
And he's also struggling to turn this thing around. It's hard to do a 3-point turn with these things.
Suspension's broken. He's not going to get to do burnouts.
He could try to reverse it away around if he can. Nope.
Do his best.
Could just do burnouts there, too, I think.
See if the 17 will help him get a point in the right direction.
I think the King should finish his last race.
Well, he did finish it.
And as they try to sort out in the background, we'll take a look at our finishing results. Tyler Gary taking home his 2nd win of the season ahead of Travis Beckner, Dalton Kane, Ryan Zabot. Didn't talk a whole lot of the 10, but quietly got there inside the top 5. Overhaul, we saw him in up and down the order. Back in 5th place. Bryce Senizak in 6th with Martin, Jacob Bell, Brent Pucari, and Casey Borgmeyer rounding out your top 10.
Yeah, I think Overholt will be a little disappointed. I think that 12 car could have been a little bit more of a factor right at the end there. Never really had a shot. Casey Borgmeyer also. Brent Pucari did a nice job climbing up into the top 10 after kind of being mired towards the back for most of that race.
Taking a look at your next page of finishers, Ryan Swan quietly gets to that 20 car in 11th place. Jay around all of the chaos. Jacob York in 12th, Carter Coop in 13th, DeBoer in 14th, Shane Will 15th, Hughes 16th, Freiberger, unfortunate end to his day. He had a very quick car in that 24, but was out early on.
Yeah, similar story. Clayton Johnson had a lot of speed in that car, ended up kind of self-inflicted issue there towards the end. Jordan Navarro got caught up in a collision, rounding out your top 20, and then from everybody else, 21st on back, just night ended prematurely for most of them.
Yeah, Brad Slaughter never really got to see a lot of pace out of that car. He was out early on in that 28 machine, as well as a couple others. As we have 26 of Tyler Gary celebrating on the front straightaway with what's left of his car in one tack. We'll take a chance to talk with actually his runner-up finisher, talk with the 27 of Travis Beckner. Travis, you got a copy?
Yes, sir. I got a copy, and also, it's no longer the 28, unfortunately.
I know, that's why in my head I'm so used to area. I'm like, oh, the 28 Beckner, and then I looked at the score, and I'm like, oh, he's in the 27 for this series. But regardless, unfortunately, you were 1 point off of the leader. You were trying to get there. You had the lead for majority of the race. You led majority laps, 24, but fortunately couldn't quite get there to the 26.
Yeah, the top went away from me in 1 and 2. It was still there in 3 and 4, but he was just gaining so much time rolling the bottom in 1 and 2. Wasn't able to get it all back when 3 and 4 came around. It was a very fun battle there with Tyler. So I guess I'm gonna have to black flag him this weekend at the dirt track now because he beat me.
Travis, tell me a little bit about the way that the lanes transition, because we saw Tyler kind of transition to the bottom lane a little bit sooner before everybody else. It wasn't like he was chasing the track. He was kind of ahead of it. How quickly did you realize that bottom lane would come back in towards the end?
As soon as the cushion was gone up in 1 and 2, there was still a bit up in 3 and 4, but it was slowly starting to fade away. But we just tacked it down too much up in 1 and 2 with how we were running, and just went away from me. Bottom got dominant in 1 and 2, and I wasn't able to roll the bottom as well as he was.
All right, well, Travis, it was a very solid run. Unfortunately, not quite the win you would have wanted, but next week, double points and Volusia coming up.
Yep. First off, I'd like to thank my sponsors, Hendry County Motorsports Park, Wilson Race Cars, Central Mobile Homes Sheds. I got to thank Tyler because now I get to black flag him this weekend, like I said. Just got to go on to next week and hopefully get the win in the 100-lapper. So.
All right, well, Travis, solid run for you. Thanks for talking to us.
Thank you.
All right, moving on to, looks like we're going straight to our race winner, the number 26 of Tyler Gary. And Tyler, well, you managed to do it again, but I would say this one maybe almost a little bit harder fought than last week at Lanier.
Yeah, we were getting banged around there for a while at the beginning. I'm not sure why. Issue got taken care of, in my opinion, and if that causing me a penalty, then so be it. It was fun racing with Travis. I think he was better at the top early, and once he got down to the bottom, that's where I seem to be better at.
Yeah, and I wanted to talk about that. You know, we saw a huge change in the lanes from these drivers, especially from the heat. But a lot of guys working to the middle, up top early on, and then everyone diving down low. You know, where did you figure was the best place to put your car? Because you seemed to manage to figure out before anyone else really did.
Yeah, I know in practice and a lot of my experience racing this track and officials, the bottom 1 and 2 always just seems to come in. Just because I don't know if it's like the grass blocking the entry and people don't enter as low as what they think. But I started moving down there when I saw the 7 make it work halfway one time, and I figured that'd be my best shot at passing Travis. And then I cleared him by like 3 car lengths, and I wasn't expecting that. And then I kept her on the top in 3 and 4 because I thought it was better. But I honestly wasn't as comfortable up there, so I started on the bottom, hoping it was just fast enough to keep me in front of Travis.
Well, it definitely was fast enough to keep in front of him ahead and also get your second win of the season. Really solid performance there in the 26 machine. Thank you for talking to us, and best of luck next week at the doubleheader. Or not doubleheader, I should say double points at Volusia.
Thank you.
All right, with that, I think we're ran out. I don't know if we have Dalton Kane available for interview. It doesn't look like we have him available, so I'll be running out of the interviews for tonight. But what a fantastic race. I got to say, these guys put on a great show. I said that last week at Lanier, but I think even this race was even that much better.
Now, these dirt guys are nuts, man, aren't they? They really throw these things around. It makes it a lot of fun to watch. My first dirt race in probably almost actually over a year, I'd imagine. So it's just been a lot of fun to watch the heat racing and the short little sprints of action, and just how good these guys are chasing the racetrack around. It's just been a pleasure. So happy to be joining on the VDRA late model series tonight here at Lake Linfinian. But 100 laps of illusion next week. That sounds like a lot of fun too.
Definitely sounds like a lot of fun, and there's going to be a lot of fun. And stay tuned to that here on Sim TV. We're going to be covering that third round of the season. Get double points, double the length. We'll see who can end it up. Will be Tyler Gary's third victory of the season, or will someone else get up there and snatch that crown away? But for tonight, my name is Finney Kuna here with Kyle Heyer, and we'll be signing up from Sim TV. Thank you for watching.